diagnosed with PH in 1998. When I was diagnosed, I lived in a town of 4,000 people. My family was in denial. My husband, at the time, was a very reluctant caregiver, and my children very, very young. I had a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 6-year-old when I was diagnosed. 5-year-old when I was diagnosed. I was scared. I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea how long I would live. But I was told by my doctor I had less than 2 years. I needed answers, I needed information, and especially, I needed support. I had no idea how to find another patient. My nearest clinic was 4 hours away, so I went to information for help. I went to the internet for information. Keep in mind, that was in 1998. It would be 5 more years for MySpace, 6 more years for Facebook to be invented, and Twitter was still way in the future, 8 more years. PHA message boards was the only thing out there where I could get support. I read these boards every single day. I was on there 2-3 hours a day, reading, refreshing. I joined Facebook in 2008. My first post on that day, my very first one, was a raise, trying to raise awareness. I posted, pulmonary arterial hypertension is a disease of the heart and lungs that without meds is terminal. With meds, you can live a long and productive life. I asked my first question in December 31, 2009. I asked questions every single day on Facebook, when I remember. A patient was having trouble getting her family to understand about PH, something I knew a little bit about. She asked me to post some information on her page, and I did that for several days. I then started asking questions on her page that other PHers could answer for her, so that her family could see. This started my daily questions. I've asked everything from the very personal to the very outrageous. The very personal questions were some that I asked a specific group. For example, there was one that I would ask just the women in the PH Facebook community. I asked if after they started getting sick, did they lose their periods? Some of the guys were a little unsettled, of course, but I kept asking these types of questions. I've asked, since your diagnosis, what advice do you have that helps to maintain intimacy with your partner, and others like that. Some of the more silly ones are like about riding roller coasters. I love going to Disney and riding roller coasters, even with my PH. So I've asked, has your doctor said you can or could not ride? That kind of thing. The QOTDs is what I call them. That have gotten the most responses are the ones I call roll calls. These questions are very basic, yes or no kind of answers, or years, that sort of thing. Like, are you a PH patient? Where in the world do you live? What year were you diagnosed? These are the ones that I get 40 to 50 answers within a few hours. Some of them I get maybe 20 in the day. So these are really, really popular. What this means to me is that people really want to share. They want to connect on a very personal level, and they want others to know of their specific cases. And they want to connect in a very meaningful way. Other things I've done on Facebook is I use images to push specific messages for education, action, and awareness. I have my laptop sitting over there with images going, but it's such a small screen, you guys wouldn't be able to see it anyway. So if you're interested, I can pop it up and you guys can see what I've done. You can take a shocking fact, an important date, an action request, and dress it up in an image to really draw attention to it. I've been making images for PH awareness, such as an awareness month in November. I use images to help raise awareness during Christmas, at the end of the year. I use images to help motivate people to sign up for things such as the PHA Daily Beat. Do you guys know about that? Mm-hmm. You get either by an RS feed or RSS feed, whatever it's called, or you can get emails. And they send little clips, and that sends you to a link, and it gives you all kinds of information. And I post those daily whenever I get them. I've also done emails that share, or I've also used emails that I receive to share information. PHA sends out emails to patients I call PHA News. And that has a lot of information. I use those and I share them on Facebook as well as Twitter. These are just things that I do to raise awareness. One of my favorite blogs on the web is by PHA's president, Reno Alberghetti. He has a lot of good information on Blogspot, and I like to share his page each time he updates it. There are also blogs from individual patients and groups such as Generation Hope. I started a blog back in 2009, I think. It's called The Life and Times of Alice Flip. You can find it on Flippy Mom. Am I right here? There's also many PH-related groups on Facebook. The most popular is PH Family. How many of you guys are on PH Family? Awesome. Awesome. So you can find that on Facebook. But there's also Generation Hope, which is young adults with PH. There's PH Bucket List, things that you want to accomplish. And then when you do these things, you go on there and you share. I've done it. One of my very top ones was to go watch Wicked in New York. And I did it. My sister treated me, and it was amazing. There's a support group leaders on Facebook. There's Making PH Aware. There's Tips for Living with PH. The Slow Breathers is, I think, Arizona. There's PH Australia. There's PH South Africa. There's Friends Gone But Not Forgotten, and Friends, of course, with PH. There's one that I love. I have pulmonary hypertension, and I'm going to complain about it. I love that. There's two groups in Spanish and other languages as well. Some of you may live in a small town like I did. Some of you may not be able to make it to support group meetings such as this. And some of you have very specific questions that you're not totally comfortable sharing with in a corporate setting. Facebook, message boards, and online networks are a great way to share with a diverse population, even when you can't leave home. And we know how hard it is to leave home sometimes. I encourage you, all of you, to join Facebook. Add Pulmonary Hypertension Association as a friend, and start talking to individuals online. Make friends, connect, have conversations, chat, engage, and add friends on Facebook. There's a very vibrant population online. We don't feel like a rare illness community when there's so many online accessible at your fingertips. Thank you.
Right now, anybody have any questions for Al? Stand up and say your question.
I better go with me.
What kind of treatment have you had that kept you from oxygen?
Well, I never desaturated. I have always had my pulse oxes at 98, 99, 100. So, and it's more common for people to be on on oxygen, but there's a lot of people that don't need it. I personally went on Flolan right away. When I was diagnosed at 98, there were no other treatments. Remodulin, UT15, was still in clinical trial. And going on it for me, my PA pressures were at 115. And I could have been on placebo, and they just did not want that to happen. So, and I'm now on Remodulin. Pardon me. My God, my brain. I'm now on Clear.
Can't remember.
I can't remember. Stop.
Are you needing oxygen, or you never need oxygen from the beginning?
The only time that I needed oxygen, I have other conditions, and one of them is that I develop cysts all the time. So I had a cyst removed from my thigh that was golf ball size, and they wanted me right away for it because of pH. But we have a tendency to, when we wake up from being put under, that we desaturate. And I was on O2 for about a month, and then I was able to get off of it. But that was the only reason why.
Okay.
How is your Triclear administered?
Triclear is oral, so it's a pill. Twice a day.
What dose are you on?
125. Yeah, there's a beginning dose of 62.5, and you're on that for a little while, and then they increase you to the 125, and those are twice a day.
Do you always have to be awake for surgery?
They don't want to put you out.
They don't, but you know.
I have to have a pacemaker replaced. They're not going to keep you awake for a pacemaker replacement.
They give you conscious sedation, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
The Michael Jackson propofol drip is wonderful.
And versus
There are some doctors that will put you out. Angel, our doctor, she was just telling me yesterday, they'll put her out, put her right for a cab. I never heard of that. My doctor won't even let me drink alcohol, although I will. He told me it affects the cardiac output. And he's like, well, as long as you know that it does, I can't stop you. But even in his, I'm watching on patients too, and I even give them a painkiller for. I've had surgery that I have to be put out. And there's precautions that they take, like, you know, they always tell patients not to drink any water, but with pH patients, we kind of need to have a little hydration. It's different things on how you do, and different, you have to have instead of a regular anesthesiologist, a cardiac anesthesiologist, but if you have to do it, you have to do it. You know, when I was diagnosed, I was in the hospital for 17 days, I gained 70 pounds.
So you're in twilight.
And so they were like, what is causing this fighting? So they,
But you just have to tell them that you can't go in
they also looked at ovarian cancer because it's just on my right ovary. And it runs in my family. And I had a really high CA, 125. That's the blood test.
No, I've had,
Normal is like 30, my sister's out.
I mean,
So
you are
they said, I went to the hospital, I went to OBGYN, and they said, 90% chance you have ovarian cancer, we're going to schedule it for a complete hysterectomy in a week. Well, because I have pH, and I called my doctor, the nurse called the OBGYN and said, well, wait, if she has a complete hysterectomy, we need to be there. Just, you know,
I'm so sorry.
she has...
I'm so sorry. Forgive me.
I
I was holding it. I was holding it up.
Look at my file.